Thanks for joining us. On today's show, we're talking about unique eats in downtown Goshen. Joining me are Rosie Singh, the owner of Maple Indian Cuisine. We've also got Brian Jones, the kitchen manager at Venturi, and Andre Regalado, whose family owns Si Señor. Thanks everyone for joining.
Thank you, Adrian.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
So I personally think we're so lucky in downtown Goshen because we have so many amazing food options. One thing I've noticed though is the uniqueness in some of these specific restaurants that usually you would only find in a big city. So I've invited these folks here today to talk about their amazing cuisine, what they recommend, what their favorites are, and you should get out there and try this amazing food. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with Rosie. Can you tell me a little bit about the cuisine that you have at Maple Indian? What's the origin? What's the flavor profile? What's it taste like?
Good question. Thank you for asking that, Adrian. I think the misconception is always Indian food is spicy. We are really strictly northern. So our cuisine is not as spicy because we're not big fans of heat, but we can make it as spicy. So we're big fans in different spices. So we use a lot of our own spices and we make them into what we call the masala. A masala is just a blend of your own spices, and you can use it as a dry rub, or you can cook it into your sauces. Believe it or not, people think curry. They're like, well, I don't know about curry. I had it before. Curry in the northern region means just the sauce, whether it's a korma, chicken tikka masala sauce, and it just means a sauce. So all our sauces, we pretty much have a huge menu, but it's really down to just 5 different sauces that we have, which is masala, which is more tomato based, korma, which is more coconut milk based. We have butter chicken, which is all about cream and chicken with other Indian spices. And then you have your dry. We have dishes that are grilled. So if you're not a big fan of curry, you can always get like marinated chicken or fish, and it's grilled in our clay oven, and it's plated with fresh vegetables, naan bread, which is it's just the bread that we make and we cook in the clay oven. And then, that's the biggest thing about our food. It's just, people think it's spicy, but it's not. It can be, but that's not our forte.
Yeah, I personally am a big fan of the butter chicken, but there's so many other good things on your menu. So we'll get to talking about some more of those soon. Brian, can you tell us about what Venturi's specialty is and the way Venturi makes its pizza?
So Venturi is traditional Neapolitan style pizza, which comes from Naples. It's kind of like the OG of pizza, and it's all wood-fired in our wood-fired oven. So we typically cook our pizzas between like 800 and 1,000 degrees. So we throw a pizza in there, it'll be done in about 90 seconds, which pretty uncommon for like most American pizzerias. And we have the only 2 like types of pizza that are on our menu that are like certified are the only 2 that are Neapolitan, which are the margherita, which is just the bread, tomato sauce, fresh mozzarella that we make every day, basil, oil, salt. And then the marinara, which is the bread, the sauce, oregano, garlic, basil, oil, salt. And then we have tons of other stuff, which are original recipes, or there are classic kind of like Italian pasta recipes that have been kind of transformed into these pizza recipes, kind of like the amatriciana or the capricciosa. And yeah.
Yeah, I'm a frequent flyer for the amatriciana. That's my favorite.
Yeah. Italian bacon, pretty much.
So Andre, I'm so glad you're with us. Obviously Goshen has a lot of phenomenal Mexican restaurants, but I feel like Si Señor has focused on a few really unique specialty items, and I'm hoping you can speak to what those items are, specifically the gordita, but anything else that you feel like is really unique and special to Si Señor.
Yeah, like you said, like the gordita is like the main thing that my parents like emphasize the whole restaurant about. But like, yeah, they just have tacos and gorditas, which is the main thing, which is, I don't know if you ever had a gordita or not, but like, it's pretty much like a soft corn base shell. It's kind of like a sandwich, and like they cook it in a skillet. It's just made out of corn, masa, what they call it, and which is a mixture of just like corn and water, which is kind of amazing how just a simple ingredient like that could be so delicious. So yeah, they put it on a skillet and it rises up almost like a balloon, and then they cut it open and they stuff it with, you can have cheese, beans, potatoes, steak, anything that you could possibly think of. So yeah, I mean, they have their tacos, their burritos, their tortas. They just started selling birria on the weekends, and they also have menudo. I don't know if you ever heard of menudo. It's really not my favorite, which I don't know. I never really like the texture of it. It's pretty much like cow stomach soup. It sounds so strange, but for some reason it's really popular in Mexico and people love it.
So one thing I'm curious about, Rosie, what's your favorite food item at Maple Indian?
My favorite one is aloo gobi, which is cauliflower and potatoes. And it's not in a sauce, more of a dry rub in the vegetables.
That sounds awesome. Brian, what's your favorite at Venturi?
Margarita. I just love it's so simple. It's so good. But if I have to pick something else, I'd probably pick the Induja, which is mascarpone cheese, which is like super creamy, soft cheese, almost like butter. And this Induja, which is like a prosciutto spread that we dollop on there, onion, chili flakes, and a little bit of oil, salt, and it's nice and spicy, salty. It's so good. Yeah, love it.
Yeah, that's an indulgent one. It's so greasy and so good.
Oh yeah.
Should I be embarrassed that I know all of the foods at all of these places?
I think it's a good thing. You know where you live,
So Andre, I have tasted some of the foods at Si Señor, and I feel like there's a lot of good options to choose from, but what's your personal favorite?
Oh man, that's hard. If I had to choose, it would probably be a gordita, honestly, like.
But which stuffing?
The stuffing, it would be steak, cheese and beans, and rice. Yeah, it's just like super simple, but it's so full of flavor, especially when you add the salsa in it. It's like, yeah, it's just like all these great flavors all together. To me, it's just great. But if I had to choose another thing, I'd probably just be tacos, because I'm a taco fan.
Yeah.
I don't know who is it.
One thing I will say, Andre, that I was really impressed with, because I did get a gordita, but I also got some just chicken tacos on the side, thinking like, oh, supplement with some chicken tacos. And my assumption on chicken tacos is it's a chicken taco, like no big deal. Yeah. But the marinade and the flavor that like clearly was like slow cooked chicken, and it was shredded and super juicy. I was like so impressed and so excited to know that that's around the corner from where I live, because they're delicious.
You like that, yeah.
So I think sometimes people, when they're trying a new cuisine or going somewhere that they haven't been before, they can be a little intimidated in knowing what to pick and knowing what to choose. And so I'm wondering, Rosie, if somebody's there for the very first time and they're a little intimidated, what would be your recommendation for them to try?
Well, you know what, Adrian, that's a good question, because I emphasize in my and I'm very big about explaining. So the first thing when people come to our restaurant, we ask, have you been here before? And if they say no, we kind of really explain everything to them, and then make suggestions based on what they like and they don't like. Some are vegan, vegetarian, I only eat chicken, but otherwise we have shrimp and we have fish, and we make everything, so we like to get to know our customers.
Yeah, I agree. Luckily, I got to have Indian food at a fairly young age, but I when you first opened, I'm pretty sure I came to Maple Indian 5 days in a row for food. So well, I'm so excited. So Brian, what would you recommend? Is somebody first time ever trying Neapolitan pizza? All they've ever had is like American pizza, New York slice. They're coming in maybe not quite sure what this whole Neapolitan thing is. What would you recommend?
Well, we've got so many options, and I think the big thing for a lot of people is they just don't know how to pronounce a lot of the stuff that's on the menu. And so they'll, have to ask the server, like, oh, just, can I get this one? But there is something for everyone. We've got the fig pizza, which is very indulgent. It's got all these delicious toppings on them. But then we've also got just like a cheese or a pepperoni pizza. So people that are feeling a little adventurous could try something like the fig or the capricciosa or even the margarita. Or if they're just feeling like something simple, something I know, I'll just get a cheese or a pepperoni. And they're all great. They're all delicious.
And Andre, what would you recommend first time at Si Señor for somebody to order? What's the can't miss?
I guess my go-to will be the gordita again, just super, it's really filling. And I feel like people are kind of intimidated about the meats that they have because of most of them are like in some kind of sauce. And not everybody likes spicy. So if you're the first time coming in and you don't know what to get and you don't like spicy, steak doesn't have any sauce in it, or just, simple cheese, beans, rice. And yeah, I mean, I think it would be a good starter to have a gordita, just beans, cheese, rice, go from there. Or just a taco.
Yeah. Well, and to be frank, Taco Bell has ruined what people think of certain things. It is not what you would get as a gordita at Taco Bell. It is a completely different product.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even know that Taco Bell had that. I mean, because to me, Taco Bell is like, it's whatever. It's a fast food place. I go there every now and then. But yeah, you're right. Like people are like don't really know what authentic like flautas or enchiladas or things might look like because of Taco Bell or like things that you find in the grocery store on the freezer section. It's like it's completely different and it's a lot better, trust me. Yeah.
Well, last question for everybody is just what are your hours? When can people come get your food, and do you do just sit down or just carry out or both? So I'll go ahead and start with you, Rosie.
Adrian, we're open 7 days a week, Monday through Thursday, 11 to 3 and 4 to 9. Friday, Saturday, 11 to 3 and 4 to 10. And Sundays only 11 to 3. And we do carry out and dine in, very limited dine in right now. Our dine in is open. We have a couple tables outside, not too many.
And Andre, what are the hours currently for Si Señor?
Right now they're open Monday, Thursday, and Friday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And then Saturday and Sunday they open from 9 a.m. all the way to 3 or 4 p.m. Depends on like whenever people stop coming in. But the set hours is 9 to 3 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday.
So it sounds like it's lunch focused, but also grab some food to take home for dinner on your way home. And Brian, what's Venturi's hours currently in the carry-out versus dine-in options?
So these days we're open 7 days a week for lunch, 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. We close for a couple hours, open back up at 5 p.m. and we're open till 9 p.m. We've been doing carry-out only this entire time. We do have seating outdoors on our sidewalk for people to use, and then on Fridays and Saturdays we've got the alley right next to us open with even more seating. So
yeah, awesome. Well, you guys are making me hungry, so it's time to wrap this up. But thank you so much for talking with me, and I hope to see more and more folks coming to your establishments and supporting these locally owned businesses. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.